All right, so continuing on, and I want to say also Salakia, laptop was lagging. So I'm just going to continue on with Native American inventions. It says Native Americans thrived throughout the Americas, and developed many innovations that continue to use today. From medical advancements to sleeping arrangements, we can trace many things back to them. Anesthetics, they used three ingredients to numb the pain: coca, peyote, and datura were used as early as 1000 BC. Aspirin, salicin from the bark of an American black willows, turns into salicylic acid in the body. That's a main ingredient found in modern day aspirin. Bunk beds, and I'm just gonna, hit the main ones: chewing gum, hammocks, hockey, parkas, which I want to read a little bit on this parkas. The insulated jackets were first developed by the Inuit people in the Arctic Circle. Caribou and sealskin were the most common materials used. Syringe, though a Scotsman is credited with developing the medical instrument, American Indians were using similar devices before colonization. They used hollow bird bones or animal bladders to inject or clean wounds. Right, so that basically just covers Gad, and I'm gonna do going to the Southern Kingdom last. But all these things is important, man, because these are the things that's naturally around us. Whether we using them in the medical field, so to speak, unto this day, whether we using certain things for science or certain things for the promotion of even entertainment, which they have right here with the color TV. All these different things were invented by blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. So this is 11 inventions you probably didn't know came from Latin America. It says Latin America has produced some of the most ingenious inventions of our lifetime. But do they speak about these things? That's my question. Do they speak about these things in your regular shows? Are these individuals accredited for actually crafting these devices? On TV, that's when I said shows. On TV, do they actually push this in the media about the different things that the Latinos actually had to commit to the production of our so-called nation as you know it, or the world as you know it? So continuing on, and they don't. They sweep all these things under the rug. They take the inventions, and then they'll always push an image that the Latinos are such a burden and they need to get out of America, and the Negroes and the natives also, man. The natives are pushed on the reservations, the Negroes pushed on the ghettos, and the Latinos pushed back into their own countries in the slums also, man. But the Latinos, Native, and the Negroes, we're the ones that built up this thing from scratch, man. So continuing on, it says, and yet, according to a 2013 report by the OECD, the future of innovation in the Latin American region is in danger due to low levels of investment. So they don't even have the tools to actually get their technological and innovative advancements off of the ground due to the fact that their nation was stripped. All right, all the resources they had in close proximity was taken away from them. All right, and they were beat and plundered as a nation. So of course they don't have technology to advance. They're focusing on actually surviving from day to day. Same thing with the Negroes here today. That's why it was a certain time where Negro and Hispanic advancements was very, very high, but it just bottomed out, because we're in a worse condition than ever, man. As time progresses, it continues to progressively get worse. So continuing on, research and development in Latin America is sluggish. Contrary to other regions, such as the U.S., where knowledge-intensive sectors represent 60% of manufacturing value and experience rapid growth, in Latin America, natural resource and labor-intensive sectors account for the majority of manufacturing value. Today, however, things are starting to look up. Innovative startups are gaining momentum. Initiatives are addressing the innovative gap, such as the World Economic Forum, Competitive Lab, and creative entrepreneurs are leading the way on technologies that have a social impact. But I'm just going to hit it just for number one. It says the color TV, Born in Guadalajara, Mexico, Guillermo, I'm gonna butcher it. Guillermo Gonzalez Camarena was an electrical engineer credited with the invention of a color wheel type of television. His was the first color TV patented in the U.S. and Mexico and is still used by NASA today. Neonatal artificial bubble, the contraceptive pill. Mexican chemist Luis E. Miramontes co-invented the first oral contraceptive pill in 1956. The electric brake. Continuing on. Photography. Hercules Florence, a French-Brazilian inventor, is considered one of the pioneers of photography, developing a photograph some 3 years before Louis Daguerre. So, these different cameras, all these different devices where you actually could take pictures and, get photographic images, that's all credited back to a so-called Latino, man. Like I said, on top of these different buildings, on top of all this innovative technology, the light bulb and, the traffic light, all these different things were crafted by so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So continuing on, the Mondragon rifle, the ballpoint pen, the artificial heart. Dr. Domingo Liotta was born in Argentina, the son of Italian immigrants. In 1969, he created the first artificial heart to be successfully transplanted into a human being. His creation is on display at the Smithsonian Museum. Capture points, which of course you always see these when you logging in. The annoying online access code format used to prevent spam was invented by Guatemala-born Dr. Louis von Ahn. The stent. Argentine vascular radiologist Julio C. Palmas invented the balloon expandable stent used to treat cardiovascular disease. In 2006, he was immortalized in the National Inventors Hall of Fame. Bandage for administrative drugs. Araguian Alejandro Zaffaroni has been granted more than 45 patents today, including a bandage for administering drugs through the skin. See, and this is rich history. Like I said earlier, this isn't documents that's easily found, so to speak. They don't want the Latinos and the natives to actually know their true history. How all the things around them was sourced by their forefathers, the ones that actually, were innovative and creative. Even at their lowest estate, they were still better than a so-called white man. About power. That's why you always have to have faith, and you always have to, appreciate your culture, so to speak. Your culture is your worship, and understand where your culture goes back to, which is Yasha Allah. All right, and your power, you have the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahweh Shai, in your corner, so to speak. The angels of the Lord in your corner, and the Lord actually will grant all these different things, at the drop of a dime. But you have to be drawn near unto Him, man. And just like I said, a lot of these were sinners, man. A lot of these were niggas, that didn't regard the Lord. So how much more us leaning in our righteous estate, how much more the Lord will bless that. So continuing on with black inventors and their inventions, because of course Judah is the head tribe, so a lot of inventions naturally come out of Judah. Scripture speak about the waters of Judah, and the Lord's hand would not depart from Judah, and the tents of Judah will be raised up first. So this is a fact indeed that Judah is the head tribe due to all the creations, inventions, and how they dominate every arena that they actually fall into. So paper was created from Africans, so-called Africans, because we know that we're not Africans, we're actually Negroes, all right, by of course, in today's terminology, but we go back to Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, all right, which are the Haitians, Jamaicans, and Negroes you see today. All right, even though we dwelled in Africa for a number of years, we're actually Israelites. So chess was also created from Israelites. The alphabet was created from Israelites. Right, and the word alphabet is a Greek word, alpha, bet, which alpha is A and bet is the second word, but it's truly alat, bayat, all right, which is the Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash, and you read that in Genesis, which Adam is the former of all things, you know, and the Most High was dealing with the Adamites, but preferably the sons of God, and he named all the animals, and he was speaking the Lashon Kodash, the ancient language. Medicine, all right, and it speaks even in Genesis how Adam actually had a level of knowledge pertaining to medicine, all right. Civilization, which civilization, when you go into the definition of it, of course, it's the act of being civilized. And in order to build a true civilization, you have to have culture, you have to have medicinal arts, you have to have a structuring society where people progressively grow and actually are engineered properly from a system, all right, a law, and all these things, and that starts with us, of course. You know, that's what made us stand above the other nations, which made us the sons of the Most High. And I'm going to continue on. Aeroplane propelling, the biscuit cutter, folding bed, coin changer, rotary engine, car coupler, letterbox, stainless steel pads, torpedo discharger, disposable syringe, and we just read about the syringe was also crafted, if I'm not mistaken, by the Gad. Continuing on, Salakia, home security system, corn planter, cotton planter. It's hard to really see that. Something board. Excuse me. Street sweepers, horse bridle bit, horseshoe, pacemaker. All right, and we just read about how the Latinos, which come from, of course, Issachar, you know, and the rest of the tribes, Zebulun, you know, Asher, you know, so on, Naphtali, so on and so forth. You know, they created the artificial heart, and the Negroes actually backed that by making a pacemaker, man. Guided missiles that was created by a so-called Israelite, man, you know, or a so-called Negro, which comes from Israel. The lawnmower, typewriter, train alarm, image converter for radiation director, peanut butter, paints and stains, lotion and soaps. Right, and we even created lotion and soaps. And the proof of that the so-called white man didn't create these things is you read Job, the 30th chapter. The so-called white man wasn't using soap in those caves. He wasn't using lotion in those caves. All right, the scriptures speak about how, and Job said it best, how he wouldn't even allow the dogs of his flock